The day an alien sat beside me and confessed the truth about Earth. The morning was ordinary grey clouds, the low hum of traffic, and the sterile scent of coffee in a cheap café tucked between skyscrapers. I had been sitting there for an hour, nursing a lukewarm espresso, trying to convince myself that life still had a purpose. I was 34. Divorced. Recently fired from a research position at an aerospace firm after my project on deep space signal mapping was terminated for lack of relevance. My career, my marriage, even my dreams all burned out like dead stars. That's when she walked in. At first glance, she looked human, short black hair, pale skin, and a slim figure wrapped in a grey trench coat. But something about her was too precise. Every motion deliberate. Her eyes, a shade of silver that didn't belong to any earthly iris, reflected light like liquid metal. She ordered nothing. Just sat across from me, uninvited. "Elliot Wren," she said softly, pronouncing my name perfectly, and that was my first alarm bell. I froze, my heart thudding. "Do I know you?" She tilted her head. "Not yet. But I know you. I've come to speak about your research and about Earth." Her voice had a strange cadence, calm but layered with resonance, like two tones speaking at once. I stared. "Who are you?" Her gaze flicked to the window, where rain began to bead against the glass. "That's not the right question. The right question is, why would an alien choose to talk to a man who's given up?" I laughed, a hollow sound. "You're joking." But she wasn't smiling. When she blinked, her pupils dilated vertically, like a cat's, no, like something far more complex. And for a heartbeat, her skin shimmered, showing faint traceries of light under her surface, glowing lines, like a neural network made visible. The laughter died in my throat. The confession begins. "My name," she said, "is Vera. I am a sentinel of the Kailari ascendancy. And I've come because humanity stands on the edge of extinction by its own hand." I wanted to run, to call security, but something in her tone rooted me to the seat. "You were monitoring signals from the outer systems," she continued. "You found one, didn't you?" My blood went cold. I had a repeating pulse deep in the background radiation, a pattern too structured to be random. I tried to decode it, but before I could, my access was revoked, and my data scrubbed. "How do you know that?" I whispered. "Because we sent it." She leaned closer, her eyes gleaming. "It was not a message of peace, Elliot. It was a test. We wanted to know if your species was ready." I swallowed. "Ready for what?" "For truth. The truth about Earth." Her next words fell like stones into still water. "Earth is not alone, Elliot. But it is isolated. Quarantined." "Quarantined?" "Yes. Long ago, your kind was part of the Galactic Accord, a civilization spanning hundreds of worlds. But humanity was different. You evolved emotions faster than wisdom. You built weapons before compassion. When your ancestors created the first gravity tiers, what you call wormholes, you used them to invade rather than explore." "That's impossible," I said. "There's no record." "There isn't," she interrupted. "Because it was erased. You were sealed here, your history rewritten, your skies cut off. Your moon is not a natural satellite, it is a stabilizer, a failsafe designed to suppress further expansion." I felt dizzy. "You're saying we've been imprisoned?" "Protected," she corrected. "From yourselves and from us." I couldn't speak. My hands were trembling. She reached out, and though her touch was gentle, it burned faintly, as if energy pulsed beneath her skin. We watched for millennia, waiting for a signal of maturity, compassion, unity, the ability to rise above your instincts. But what we saw instead was greed, division, war. The test we sent was simple, and only you heard it. "Why me?" I asked, barely audible. Because your signal mapping algorithm didn't just detect the pattern, it replied to it. You sent back something unique, not coordinates, not data. You sent a question. What question? She smiled sadly. You asked, are we worth saving? The hidden war. The cafe was empty now. I hadn't noticed the customers leave, or perhaps they'd never been there. Outside, the rain had frozen mid-air droplets hanging motionless. Vera waved her hand, and the world dimmed, colors fading into grayscale. I've paused your perception, she said. Others can't see us. What I tell you next is forbidden. She leaned back, her voice lowering. The Kailari ascendancy is fracturing. Half of us believe humanity should be erased, the infection cut out before it spreads again. The other half believes in potential, that what destroyed you once may yet redeem the stars. And you? I believe in what I saw when I read your question, she said. Doubt. Regret. Hope. Then help us, I said. If you can freeze time, if you can travel here, you could show people. No, she interrupted. You misunderstand. I'm not here to help. I'm here to choose. I stiffened. Choose. She nodded. To decide if your kind deserves another chance or final silence. The human response. Something in me snapped. Maybe it was fear, maybe anger, maybe both. You talk about us like we're viruses, I said, standing. But you don't understand what it means to fight, to fail, to rise again. You speak of compassion, yet you'd exterminate us because we're imperfect. Vera's expression didn't change. Perfection is not the issue. Direction is. You want direction? Then look at history. We've made mistakes. Yes, we've killed, we've burned, we've destroyed. But we've also created. We've painted, dreamed, loved, sacrificed. We're chaos wrapped in conscience. Maybe that scares your kind, but it's what makes us alive. Her gaze softened slightly. You speak like someone who's lost much. I have. And yet I'm still here. We all are. That's what being human means, to keep going even when the universe gives up on you. For the first time, Vera looked uncertain. The revelation. She stood, her form flickering between human and something vast, wings of light spreading, her voice now layered with cosmic resonance. Do you know what we call your kind, Elliot? No. The unfinished. Her silver eyes glowed brighter. We studied your potential for centuries. You are the only species that continues to evolve, not biologically, but morally. You adapt not through design, but through pain. It terrifies us. Then stop being terrified, I said quietly. Stand with us. A long silence. Then she reached into her coat and produced a crystal shard, glowing faintly blue. This contains a map, she said. Coordinates to the edge of the quarantine. If humanity finds this point and reaches beyond it, the seal will break. But understand, once you cross, there is no return. The others will come. Others. Those who remember what you once were. She placed the shard in my hand. It vibrated with a low hum, sinking to my pulse. Why give this to me? I asked. Because, she said, you already asked the right question. The ending and the beginning. The cafe blinked back to normal. Time resumed, the rain fell, and Vera was gone. Only the faint smell of ozone lingered, and the crystal shard in my palm glowed softly. For weeks, I tried to convince myself it had been a hallucination. But the shard wouldn't disappear. When I connected it to my old lab terminal, it projected a map, three-dimensional, spanning light years, ending in a single point labeled Aerethus Gate.